If you've got a weak snare or a flabby kick, you're probably struggling with phase. Mixing live drums is proper hard. There's so many different pitfalls, but today we're going to tackle the dreaded phase. I'm going to show you my method. It's going to be rad, and by the end of it, you're going to have way fatter, punchier kicks, snares, toms, all that stuff. Your overheads are going to sound tight. If you don't know about phase, go and watch the video I did last week, which is all about the basics of phase. It's a very, very short video. You can even stick it on 1.5 times speed. It's even quicker then. Yeah, otherwise let's go in it. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm mixing drums is I try and get all the close mics aligned with the overheads. That means all the waveforms are moving up and down at the same time in the same way, right? As much as possible. It's a live drum kit, so it's not always possible to get it absolutely perfect. First thing that I'm going to do is duplicate the playlist, and that means now I can flip between A and B and check my work the easy way, right? So let's have a little look, and we'll get the overheads and we'll find a nice clean snare like in the verse somewhere. This snare here is absolutely fine. It doesn't really matter which one it is. You just want one that doesn't have too much other signal on it. And we've got these here. Let's boost this. So that's the snare waveform. We can see that in the overheads here. And now we can drag the snares to align with that. I prefer it if my waveforms start by going up and then down. So I'm going to do selection-based processing with just a phase flip on, and then I'm going to flip all 4 of these so they all go up and then down. You can see that now. So before down then up, now up then down, and they're all sort of working together in the same way. So that's the snare. Now we could do the kick. I think in the middle 8 in this song, he's got just the kick happening on its own. So that's super clean. So we can look at that. And then if you are new to this, it's probably worth you checking your work as you go. But I don't mind. I've done this countless times, so I don't mind being in the nitty gritty and just doing it all at once. So we're going to move these up now. And you can see that these are slightly out here. So not only are we arranging the polarity so that they're going up and down together, but we're also phase aligning them as well so that they go up and down at the same time, as close as possible. You know, it's a live drum kit. Toms. Let's do the toms. And we've got, so the track title here on tom low R80_2 is, that's called R80. So that would indicate they're panning it like 80%, or the pan number is 80 to the right. So I'm just going to try and align it with the right overhead. And we can do that like this. So there we go. That's pretty much in. And then we've got this other tom here, which is the rack. And you can see that that is going to show up on the left overhead here. Whoa. So we zoom in and have a look at that. We can just pull that one in there. And does that look like that's sort of lining up with that? And that's kind of like that. It does. So maybe we can try flipping that so they look like they're moving in the same way. Can't remember if we actually checked this rack tom. Is it going in the opposite direction? It basically is as well, right? So let's flip that one as well. Cool. So you can do this with a gain plugin on, you know, like a channel strip or anything like that. Just flip the phase. You don't have to move them, but by moving them as well, you're sort of doing phase alignment and making sure that the polarity's in check. Okay, cool. So let's A/B the whole process. The easy way to do that is to just check you haven't got any plugins on. And then we've got our original agreement on A. we can listen to that. And then B. Before. After. So I think that's a really, really good example of how things just pop forward a little bit more. It's harder to hear when you've got everything in, but if we just, for example, listen to just the overheads and the snare, and then we do a before and after. You can really, really hear how far back the snare goes. It goes really, really far back. Yeah. Anytime anyone sends me any live drums to mix, these are the first steps I go through. It saves me so much work later down the line. And if I'm trying to compress a snare for punch, then it really, really helps on like the drum bus if everything's aligned, right? Because then you're actually getting that punch. And people do send me just drums to work on for their songs. Like there's a couple of producers out in California and there's a couple of people in England. They do their own work, but they send me the drums first because they know how difficult it is to do live drums. So hopefully this video has made that a bit easier for you. If you still get stuck, just book a free call on my website. We'll go through it very quickly. So yeah, when it comes to phase, you can get away with just flipping the polarity, but we're not really here to do things by halves. We're here to get it as amazing as possible. Like when I'm working on someone's music, it's really about making it sound as good as it possibly can. I'm going to go as far as I can to get it sounding as good as possible, right? Just to compete with all the amazing other things that are out there at the moment. So dig deep, stay strong. Phase is boring, but it is worth it. Like and subscribe.